There's no such thing as winter here. Take a look around and enjoy the scenery as this month's episode of the award-winning WCC All-Access comes to you from the University of San Diego. I'm Ezra Broder, and coming up, one of the best singers I've ever seen in person shows off his talent. Oh yeah, he plays basketball too. Plus, basketball is an art, but Alex Floresca shows us what real art is all about. We go on and off the field with the San Diego senior. And what is life like in the pros? We catch up with former Torero Isaiah Pineiro, who's playing in the G League. But first, it's been 30 years since LMU's Hank Gathers passed away after collapsing on the court at the WCC tournament. His game was huge, and his personality off the court was larger than life. We celebrate his legacy today as one of the best players and people in the history of this conference.
The ball had the ball stolen from behind, Gathers with the slam.
The Hank and Bo show. Loyola Marymount show. Once they hit that campus, man, it just a whole new way of living came up to Westchester, California.
What a great player he was, and what a great team that was, and compete against him. He was a ferocious competitor. I always remember that.
The guy was kind of invincible guy as a player. I mean, he played so hard and with such a passion. He was the, they say he's the heart of that team.
If you saw the basketball side of him, you would think he was an animal, a beast, the way he played ball. But you catch him off the court, he was a very loving, kind, giving individual.
He had a charisma that went beyond the scope of description, and that everybody that came in contact with him knew that about him.
He wasn't a selfish person. He was a good kid. And I think about him often.
He had such an impact on so many people here at LMU, and everybody I've ever met that talks about Hank doesn't talk about him as a basketball player. They talk about him as this larger-than-life figure and what his love of life was like, more so than anything he did on the basketball court. And the impact that he had on so many people is just powerful.
I was there the evening where it happened.
I was at the game when it happened. I was sitting about 20 feet away on the baseline, so I saw it clear as day.
That's unfortunately a day that I'll never forget. But we all became incredible fans. We were rooting for them, and we felt that we were part of that LMU team that went to the Final 8. And all of it in honor of Hank Gathers.
That team meant so much, not just to LMU, but to college basketball. And it's one of the greatest stories in sports history.
He stands at 6'9", 265 pounds. He's an imposing player for Pacific men's hoops, and he's one heck of a singer. Amari McCray was raised in a musical household and gives us a little sample of his smooth pipes.
Oh, so long for this night I've prayed that it start. My mom, my dad, my grandparents, all of us sing, my aunts, my uncles. We came up in the church, and it was kind of like, the norm for us. It's a southern thing, I guess. Wear ribbons in the sky for our love. School Christmas pageants, just a lot of different stuff, like any opportunity, like talent shows. I started to win so many, to where I started getting disqualified, and they didn't let me do it no more, because it's not fair, because he can actually make real money, or we have amateur kids, they're juggling, so it's just like talent's talent, bro.
He came to me and asked to sing the national anthem. And I said, well, I'm pretty sure it can get done, but you got to go through protocol like everybody else. You got to go down there and sing for the powers that be. So he went down there, he sung, and so he came out and did a hell of a job.
A big man, you're thinking he's always rough and tough and, you know, but really and truly, dude has a voice of an angel when he really sings. So, you know, it's pretty ironic, but yeah.
Once I finished singing, like all my teammates kind of rushed me and they would push me and whatnot. It was hype.
He surprised me. He really can sing. I bet everybody in this arena was surprised.
I knew I was gonna do something with music because I'm a musician. I play drums and keyboard and whatnot, but like I knew I could sing too. But it's just like I didn't feel like that was gonna be my thing. Like I didn't feel like I was gonna be, you know, the pop star, the Chris Brown type dude, you know. But I knew that I was gonna make music. Me this special day, where a ribbon's in the sky for our love.
Time to take a break. When we come back, we recap the biggest stories from across the conference over the last month. And what better way to build a basketball program than with an architecture major? We go on and off the court with San Diego's Alex Floresca when we return. WCC All-Access is brought to you in part by Nike. We're back on WCC All-Access from the USD campus. I'm Ezra Broder. It's time to go down the coast and see what's making headlines around the conference. A big-time honor for Gonzaga's sophomore sensation. Filip Petrusev is on the mid-season list for the Wooden Award, given to the nation's best player. He's one of 25 guys on the list. Petrusev led the Zags to a #1 national ranking through most of January. A major milestone for St. Mary's head coach Randy Bennett. The Gales bench boss surpassed the 200th conference win plateau in mid-January. He's just the second coach in league history to reach that mark. Gonzaga's Mark Few is in the top spot. Staying in Moraga, Teresa Romagnolo will be seeking her first career WCC win next fall. She's the new head coach of St. Mary's women's soccer. She has previous head coaching stops at Notre Dame and Dartmouth. She'll be seeing Ed Moore on the opposing sideline when she faces Pacific. Moore is the new head coach for the Tigers. He comes to Stockton after being an assistant at Boise State for the last 7 seasons. He's the third head coach in the Tigers' 26 years as a Division I program. And in Portland, Megan Burton is the new volleyball coach. She takes over after 1 season as an assistant on the Bluff. She's had stints as an assistant coach at Nevada, San Jose State, and her alma mater, St. Mary's. He comes from the home of the Gateway Arch, so it shouldn't be a surprise that Alex Floresca is an architecture major. Let's go on and off the field with the lone senior on San Diego's basketball team. We're going on and off the field with San Diego senior Alex Floresca. Alex, the lone senior on this Toreros men's basketball team. Last year, there were a whole group of seniors, and now you're kind of in that leadership role. What's it been like for you?
It's been great. I mean, it's fun helping these young guys experience the WCC and how competitive it is day in and day out, and using my experience my past 4 years here and helping them grow and helping our culture grow as a team.
And you talk about all this growth. When you first started, the Toreros were kind of in a rebuild, and now each of the last 2 years you've won at least 20 games. What does it feel like to be part of that process and kind of building a program?
It feels great. It feels that like all of our hard work over the past couple of years has really paid off. Day in and day out, just keeping that grind mentality and having the guys come in here and just work really has paid off, and as you can see.
Last year certainly paid off. You guys made a nice run towards the end of the season, into the WCC semifinals, and then into the NIT. What was that like hearing your name called in the postseason?
Oh, it was great. It showed how our constant work has really paid off, and just the grind. But yeah, once we heard our name being called for the NIT, it was very exciting as a team, and yeah, we just want more from it.
As you all can see, he's a pretty big guy. I think it's fair to say you're the enforcer on this team, so can you show us a couple things in the paint?
Definitely.
All right, let's do it.
I'm here with my teammates Jared and James, and I'm about to show you how to rebound. But when the ball is shot, you're going to find your man and hit him. Hit him and turn and see the rim to where the ball comes off. And when the ball comes off, you want to go get it as highest point, snatch it to your chest, and look for your guard for an outlet.
All right, Alex, you showed us how to rebound, and luckily I didn't have to go up against you because no one wants to see that, but you want to show us something off the field that you're pretty good at too?
Definitely. My architecture studio is right down the street.
Let's do it. All right, Alex, you showed us what you got on the court. Now we're here off the court in the architecture studio here at USD. You're an architecture major.
Correct.
How did you first get involved in that?
I've always had a passion for design since I was young. My mom owns a marketing agency back in St. Louis at home, and my dad's a creative director as well. And so design and art have always kind of been in my family. And so growing up, I've always loved drawing and kind of creating, so architecture was just a tool and outlet for that coming into college.
It's a really demanding major. Basketball is also really demanding. You also said that you're going to be the first architecture major in USD men's basketball history. How do you balance that?
Time management, I mean, it's definitely taught me to value every hour in the day, balancing practice, weights, all that stuff that goes into practice every day, as well as studio time and make sure I'm meeting my deadlines for studio projects. So this is part of my thesis project, was to create a affordable housing unit that also integrated with the site of Carmel Valley in San Diego. On these first levels, I have public entertainment and restaurants and stuff like that. On the second level, I have more of a fitness aspect of it with a full gym, basketball court, laundromat, and stuff like that. And then on the third and fourth level, I have housing, sustainable, like urban gardens and rooftop space, stuff like that. Combining architecture with college athletics, I think would be a very, very cool job and something that's close to my heart. Been to thousands of facilities, seeing how student athletes interact with the space, how that space is utilized on a daily basis is, I think, very important.
When we come back, what's trending on social media? We'll check out the best tweets and posts from around the conference. And on to the next level. WCC soccer players make the jump to the pros. We recap the MLS and NWSL drafts up next.
Hedge over the wall, and Kelsey Hedge scores it.
Here are some of the best moments on social media. A plethora of coaching milestones and celebrations. This was the scene after Paul Thomas won his 500th career game. He's in his 14th year as the St. Mary's head women's basketball coach after coaching Division II Cal Poly Pomona for 12 seasons. A similar scene after BYU's Jeff Judkins won his 400th career game. Juddy is in his 19th season at the helm of the Cougars. He's the program's all-time winningest coach. Congrats to both. And why do all the coolest people stop by USF? I don't know, but man, these student athletes are lucky. The Dons women's hoops team snapping photos with Donovan Mitchell of the Utah Jazz. That's music to my ears. We're on the campus of San Diego for WCC All-Access. I'm Ezra Broder. Isaiah Pineiro was the big man on campus here the last 2 years. And now the Northern California native is back home, playing in the NBA G League. Let's go next level with IP.
I had some offers overseas, but I think for my first year out, I wanted to give it a shot in the G League. The Kings showed some interest in me, and so I felt it was a good situation here. I'd be close to home, and it'd be a good spot for me to develop my first year. Now it's legitimately my job, basketball, so all that extra effort and time that I would put into schoolwork, I'm able to put it into my body or into basketball. I mean, it's a 50-game season, it's long, It's hectic. I like it, it's good. It doesn't do you any good to score 30 points and your team's losing every game. You know, that doesn't look good. The NBA teams, they want winners. And so our coaching staff has done a really good job of, you know, implementing and reminding us that if we win games, everyone's going to succeed. And so if we succeed as a team, individually, it just helps us that even more. You don't know how long someone's going to be on the team. They could get a call up the next day or they can get cut. But in college, it's you have your team and you're with them for majority of the year, for majority of the day. And so that's probably what I miss the most. You can't beat San Diego. The beach being 10 minutes away, the constant sun, the Mexican food. I'm going back there this summer for sure.
Year in, year out, some of the best soccer teams in the country play in the WCC. So it's no surprise the conference was well represented in the MLS and NWSL drafts.
Miguel Berry on the attack, shoots, scores!
The banner year for Miguel Berry continues. The WCC's Co-Player of the Year was picked 7th overall in the MLS Super Draft by the Columbus Crew. The San Diego Star led the nation in goals and points. Pacific's Jonathan Jimenez was also a first-round pick, going 26th overall to the Chicago Fire. The senior played 2 seasons at UOP, notching 8 goals in 18 games in 2018.
Roy Ortiz going back post, what a goal!
3 more WCC alums were picked. Portland's Ray Ortiz is heading to FC Cincinnati after being taken in the 2nd round. This is the 3rd straight year a pilot has been taken in the draft. And St. Mary's teammates Remy Prieur and Anders Engebretsen were taken. Prieur is heading to the Columbus Crew after being selected 47th overall. He was named the Conference Goalkeeper of the Year in each of the last 2 seasons. Meanwhile, Engebretsen is going to FC Dallas after being a 4th-round pick. He was the WCC Co-Player of the Year after finishing 2nd in the country in points per game.
Hedge over the wall, and Kelsey Hedge scores it!
Santa Clara's Kelsey Hedge is heading to the pros after Reign FC made her the 9th overall pick in the NWSL draft. She's the Broncos' first-round pick since U.S. Olympian Julie Ertz in 2014. Hedge was the WCC Player of the Year and a first-team All-American in 2018. One more block to go. Coming up, we tell you what to watch for in the coming weeks, including the UCU WCC basketball tournaments. And our basketball players and coaches tell us what Black History Month means to them. More on that up next. Here's what to watch for in the coming weeks. The University Credit Union WCC basketball tournaments start in just a few weeks. Action begins on March 5th at the Orleans Arena in Las Vegas. The tournaments finish on March 10th as 2 champions are crowned. And that same weekend, the WCC inducts its 12th Hall of Honor class. Some of the best players to ever suit up in this conference's history will forever be enshrined. The ceremony takes place on Saturday, March 7th. Welcome back to WCC All-Access. I'm Ezra Broder. February is Black History Month. It's a time to recognize and celebrate all of the great achievements and contributions by African Americans. We asked our basketball players and coaches what it means to them. Take a look.
Every race has a history, and everyone has a story to be told, and I think it's important that all history and all races' stories has been told so we can have a better understanding of each race.
I think it's a celebration of the Black community, honestly, and to see everything that we've persevered through, honestly, like I wouldn't say myself, but like our ancestors and everything like that.
It's a chance to educate because I think you are your history, and we have a storied history with that month, and I think that it is cause for pause to reflect and see how far we've come and how far we've got to go.
For me, the best part of athletics is being able to try to blend together kids and people that come from a variety of different backgrounds, and I think embracing you know, African American players, embracing international student athletes is something that makes us all better as a team.
Bringing attention to all of American history is necessary. So if it was Black History Month or those kinds of things, great, but I also want to see it continually brought into the normal everyday classroom.
It's just a time to remember the people that came before us and pretty much just fought for the justice of our people. And then for me, I think it's important to remember the leaders like Martin Luther King, who preached peace and civility while they were trying to fight for justice. So I think Black History Month is a time to remember that.
Having student athletes that holds near and dear to their heart, I think it's been very educational for me personally, just to be part of it and have them explain and discuss and talk about what it means for them personally.
Anytime that you can try to teach people about other cultures and about other people's circumstances, it's a good thing. We want to try to empathize with people, and the more you know about other people's situation, the more you can understand, and I think hopefully draw people together instead of pull people apart.
That'll do it from San Diego. Thank you for watching WCC All-Access. We leave you now with some of the best plays from the last month of action around the West Coast Conference. See you next time.
Got to shoot it to tie it. Oh, my gosh!
6 seconds. Here's Fowler. 4 seconds. Fowler back outside. Andrews. Here's Anderson in the corner for 3 at the buzzer.
Now backs it out. Pull up 3, blocked by Bouye, works the rebound. Another block by Bouye as Wirtz drove. Shot timer at 10, and now a charge on Williams. To knock down Bouye.
Rebound goes to Gonzaga. No look past Loetta, that was pretty. To Townsend.
Same thing they ran before. Switching up top.
Just put a dagger.
Shot clock under 10. Barcelo to Nixon, driving baseline. Dunk throws it down.
As Colby Lee in foul trouble playing with Ford. Then up front of the absence of Childs. Jordan Ford, long three-pointer.
He delivers one of these. That's beyond NBA range. Nothing but net. And look at his face. He knows that's nasty.
Cameron Edwards ran right by and dunks it. On top of Kispert, my goodness.